Hello students, this is Seema and today I am going to explain you class 12 Flamingo book 3rd chapter Deep Water written by William Douglas. William Douglas was a leading advocate of individual rights, that could say human rights, and this assert is taken from his autobiography O Man and Mountain. This story reveals fear of a young boy, William Douglas. This story he discussed about his fear and the incidents in which he was almost died, how he experienced death, and how again and again he faced his fear and conquered. These all elaborate in this story. So let's learn. The lesson Deep Water is an excerpt taken from Of Men and Mountains by William Douglas. He recounts a childhood experience and conquering of his fear of water. He describes how he was nearly drowned in a swimming pool. In this essay, he talks about his fear of water and thereafter how he finally overcame that fear. So, in this lesson, narrator said that he decided to learn to swim. There was a pool at YMCA river. It offered him a good opportunity. Swimming in the Yamika river was quite dangerous. His mother had warned against it. But the YMCA pool was safe for swimming. It was 2 to 3 feet deep at the shallow end. At the deep end, it was 9 feet. The slope was gradual. William Douglas had developed an aversion to water from the beginning, but he stood at the beach with his father. A wave swept over him and knocked him down. He was buried in water. He was frightened. The YMCA pool revived those unpleasant memories and childhood fear. Here we got one new word, aversion, that means phobia. There was a misfortune happened with the narrator at pool. He didn't dare to go inside the water alone, then came to big bully of a boy. He was beautiful physical specimen, he cried, "Hi skinny." Then he picked the narrator and tossed him into deep end. He went down at once to the bottom. He was frightened but not out of its wit. He decided to make a big jump from bottom. He would try to come to the surface. He would lie flat on the water. Finally, he would paddle to the edge of the pool. His lungs were ready to burst. But when he hit the button, he gathered all his strength. He made a great spring upwards. He came up rather slowly. He opened his eyes but saw nothing but water. He grew panicky. He was suffocating. He tried to cry, but no sound came out. He swallowed water and choked. His legs were paralyzed and rigid. Narrator felt like that he got stuck in under the water. Daisy. He went down endlessly. Then stark terror seized him. His arm would not move. He tried to call for help. Nothing happened. He tugged for air but got only water. Then all effort ceased. He felt like sleeping. He crossed to oblivion. When he woke up, he found himself lying on the stomach beside the pool. He was vomiting. The chap who threw him in said that he was only fooling. After this, that fear constantly haunted him. For days he was constantly haunted by the fear. He never went back to the pool. He feared water and avoided it. Whenever he could, whenever he went near water, the terror would seize him. His legs paralyzed. Icy horror would grab his heart. The fear stayed with him as the year rolled by. इस घटना के बाद उन्हें लगातार डर सताने लगा। वे पानी के नज़दीक जाने से भी डरने लगे। उसके बाद वे कभी तालाब पर नहीं गए। जब कभी वो बच सकते थे, उन्होंने बचने का प्रयत्न किया, और वे जब भी पानी के नज़दीक गए, एक फोबिया ने, डर ने उन्हें जकड़ लिया। उनकी टांगें सुन्न हो जाती थी और बर्फीला डर उनके हृदय में अंदर तक बैठा हुआ था। कई साल बीत गए लेकिन ये फोबिया दिल से नहीं गया। Then William Douglas got an instructor and learned swimming. He employed an instructor. He went to pool. He practiced 5 days a week. The instructor put a belt around him. He rope attached to the belt went through a pulley. On each trip across a pool, a bit of panic seized him. It was 3 months before the tension began to disappear. Then he taught the narrator how to put his face underwater and exhale, and then he learned how to raise his nose and inhale. He repeated the exercises hundred of times. उस कोच ने उन्हें लगातार 5 दिन तक अभ्यास दिया. उन्होंने नरेटर के चारों ओर एक पेटी बांधी, उस पेटी से एक रस्सी को बांधा और तालाब के उस पार फेंक दिया. और थोड़ी घबराहट से फिर नरेटर को डर लगने लगा, इसके पहले कि वो डर गायब हो. उसे 3 महीने लग गए. फिर नरेटर अपना चेहरा पानी के अंदर लेकर सांस लेते थे, फिर उसको बाहर निकालते थे. इस तरह उन्होंने चेहरा नाक उठाकर सांस लेना और छोड़ना सीखा, और इस काम को उन्होंने कई बार किया. फाइनली उनके जो इंस्ट्रक्टर थे उन्होंने उनका डर हटा दिया. कई सप्ताह तक वे वही एक्सरसाइज करवाते रहे. कई बारी उनकी टांगों ने काम करना बंद कर दिया, लेकिन अंत में वो कामयाब रहे. The still fear to be alone in the pool was sustained. These went on until July. So he went to Lake Benford and dived off dock to Stamp Act Island. The fear fled and he swam on. Finally, he had conquered his fear of water. और अंततः उन्होंने पानी पर से अपने डर को काबू पा ही लिया. It was a unique experience. It left a deep imprint on his mind. He could never forget it. It had a deep meaning for him. He had experienced both the feelings and sensation of dying and the terror that fear can produce. So that's all about the story Deep Water, written by William Douglas, and this is the excerpt of his autobiography.